Welcome to Queued Up. Today on our show, we are talking PGL Astana. Vitality, Mouse, Falcons are not at this event. It is spirits for the taking, and they have gone 3-0 in groups. They are looking good so far. They are the favorite to take it, but will they be able to take down the Mongols and other teams like them to be able to ride the momentum all the way to the Blast Major in Austin coming up? We've got Optic Gaming. They picked up Mercules last week. He looks great against the Boston Breach. Optic currently a top 8 team. Likely will make champs, but will Mercules be enough for them to be able to run it back at champs and actually take the crown? We're going to talk about that later today. But boy, does Mercules look really, really good, and Optic look great in this series. Next on our docket, League of Legends, Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. They have played once in the group setting, and now they're going to the playoffs. And the winner this weekend is going to play in a best of 3. Whoever takes it down is going to be the #1 seed and likely the favorite to take it down for LTA North. And we're going to discuss all these things here on Queued Up today, where the lobby is open, the mics are hot, and nobody is dodging. With me today, Michael Tumbleweed Kepley. Davis Tadlock.
Fire in the hole.
Eli the Ninja Hensley. And I'm your host, CJ Pathfinder Collins. It's great to see everybody today. We're going to jump right into Clutch or Kick, my favorite segment. We get to argue about all these different things. I'm excited that you're here. Okay, first Clutch or Kick is going to actually be Eli. So we're going to jump over to Eli. Go ahead and introduce this one for us, bud.
Yeah, so my Clutch or Kick is about a new controller scheme coming to League of Legends. So WASD, the typical FPS movement, down, left, up, and to the right. But now you'll be able to control your character like that, similar to Supervive, which was very popular. Here, this is all a leak, by the way. None of this is fully confirmed, but this leak shows different settings options. It wouldn't completely replace the current control scheme. You'd still have the option to move with your mouse. But I think this is super interesting because in theory, it should allow more different kinds of players to play League of Legends more comfortably. In my opinion, I think the controls are a little bit difficult, especially for newcomers. It's one of those things like, if you haven't played this game from the start, you're probably going to struggle. So this, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go first. I'm clutching it. I think this is cool. It's obviously close to Smite movement. It's close to Path of Exile. It's got a lot of those mechanics. It's going to change the game a little bit. I think it's going to be easier for some of those beginning players, beginners that have never played League of Legends. Maybe they don't like the point-and-click method, and they like the WASD, so that's mine. I'm going to clutch it. Go ahead, Kep.
Easy clutch for me on this one. It expands it to more players being able to come to League and have that ease of access like you guys have touched on. It also gets it ready for, Wild Rift is the mobile version of League of Legends that's been rumored to come to consoles for a long time now. I think this sets the stage to build out a controller scheme that folks can play on too.
Clutch from me as well. Super clutch. I think this is really cool. I actually have a great buddy of mine who has refused to play League for the longest time because he can't use WASD, and he's really used to first-person shooters. So hopefully this can come out, and I can maybe get him to play some games.
Yeah, and if I were to take the other side of this argument, it's definitely going to change the professional landscape because it might be easier to use this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the real thing that people are talking about is the fact that kiting specifically, it's a big part of League of Legends, especially if you're like an ADC player. You could, in theory, just hold A and left-click the same target, and you're going to be just as good as a really talented player that's like clicking with perfect precision with a mouse. So it's going to make some champions easier. There's still some questions about it, though. Like, is it going to really be better with certain champions? Like, will it accidentally cancel your auto attack sometimes? There's a lot of things that might be weird when you adjust to it, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. We'll have to see if some pros adopt it or if they just stick to the old method.
Cap, I'll let you have the final word if you want it.
I think he said it perfectly. I mean, we're going to see the pro landscape change a good bit, hopefully, right, in a good direction. Some players are going to stick to mouse and keyboard, like Faker is probably not going to change, right? You're a goat on that. But it could open the door for folks to come in and start to get better at that kiting mechanic. So I think AD carries are the ones that most likely benefit from this. But I just think League is in a place where it needs more players right now. So to have that as an option, I mean, it's just good doors. So well said, Eli.
All right, going to the next one. We're looking at what platform Call of Duty League's going to be on going forward. Is it going to be Twitch? Is it going to stay on YouTube? There's arguments on both sides. And let me break this down a little bit for us. There's obviously the YouTube side where there's going to be some money that's attached to this. I don't think Twitch is offering the same deal as YouTube is on the back end of it. But do we want to see this on YouTube? Do we want to see this on Twitch? I think the question becomes, if it became Twitch, is that good? And so for me, I'm good. Let's go back to Twitch. I'm cool with it. I think this is a clutch. I think it's cool. Kep, you're next.
So is this like it's an exclusive for Twitch?
So the current conversation is normally you're selling the rights to exclusivity on it, yes, whether it's fully YouTube or fully Twitch.
With how YouTube is today, I'm kind of going to kick this.
Yeah.
Like, I think that YouTube has like a really good viewer experience on it for stuff like this, because with Call of Duty League, like there's so many moments where you're like, you know, especially for us here, you're like, oh, I want to clip that. I want to go back and grab these few moments. And I just think that experience there is a little bit better, but there are a lot more viewers on Twitch. I'm biased towards that YouTube live stream experience right now. So.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, for me, so I was really, really close to kicking this, but I'm actually going to clutch it. And it's because of one thing that I actually saw. I think it was yesterday. I was on Twitter and I was scrolling and I saw a new ad format that Twitch is apparently going to be trying on their platform. And I actually really enjoyed that. And I think that was one of the biggest cons of using Twitch in the past, is just how tremendous their ad presence was, and just how you couldn't really get past the fact that there was just multiple ads back to back to back. But with the new format, I think it's really cool. I think we go to Twitch.
Sweet. Eli?
You know what? I'm going to agree with Kepley on this. I'm going to kick this because I agree the YouTube experience for a live event is just better in a lot of ways, because you can actually rewind. Let's say you woke up a little bit late or something and you miss your team's match. You can just go back in the timeline. Whereas on Twitch, you can, but it's a little bit more difficult. You have to like go to the page and go to the rebroadcast and then find it. And then even then it's kind of glitchy sometimes. So I don't know. The argument for Twitch, in my opinion, is like, there's a bigger community feeling in the chat, but for live tournaments, it's just a bunch of idiots in chat that you don't want to read anyways. Like, just keep it on YouTube for the viewer experience.
Yeah, and to frame this, I would say if you asked this question 4 years ago, everyone would be like, it's Twitch. Twitch has better viewership, better numbers, better all health of the league. But it's interesting that the new perspective, because I would say that I do love that it's on YouTube in certain ways because of things like that, the rewind feature. So it's interesting that that conversation has changed over the last couple of years, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, the one big thing that Twitch is going to have that I think could be nice, Twitch drops, right? So being able to integrate that in, that's something that no other platform, to my knowledge, has even tried to. Like YouTube has done it sometimes, but it's not like that prominent. So hopefully we see good things. I just think bouncing around back and forth is bad for the league in this case. Like it's kind of like if you're going like, oh, we're on ESPN and now we're over on like MTV or whatever, right? And people are going to start losing where to find you. So just make sure you promote it well. Ideally, I'd love to see it on both. I would love to see no exclusivity.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. Kepley, go ahead and introduce yours.
Clutch kick, yeah. So we're going over to Overwatch, which is something I never thought I'd be talking about. But this guy, I think, had a great point. If Overwatch released another one of these lore cinematics, the public perception of the game would skyrocket. I'm so serious. So to lay some context here, that's Junker Queen. That's like the last phenomenal story update that we had as far as a character trailer goes. There have been some minor ones, but like Overwatch has really lost touch, in my opinion, with the lore of these characters and the scene they were trying to build and the world they were trying to build. So like, to me, this is such a clutch take on this, because back when Overwatch was first announced, they said, hey, here's a new universe. We want to give you all this lore for these characters. Here's the story of Hanzo and Genji and how they're related in their childhood. And then eventually they like nuked their whole lore because they made a Play Overwatch website and they started putting ages on these characters. You never want to do that if you're getting into the lore space, by the way, because it nuked everything on it. And then it evolved now to Overwatch 2, where they were going to tell these stories a bit more with lore, and they got rid of PvE mode. And so I think that if you're Overwatch, you're trying to make these good steps to come back. You got the freest marketing in the world in Marvel Rivals. Why is Marvel Rivals big? It's not because it's a better game. I mean, in some ways it is, but it's because it's got characters with lore that people care about and they invest in. So I think if Overwatch can go back to its roots, there's maybe a path forward for this game.
I appreciate you selling this in the way you have, Kepley. Go ahead, Davis. You go first.
I appreciate that too. But I'm going to kick it simply because I do not really like Overwatch. And I think, like you just said at the end, I think Marvel Rivals has a really big opportunity to kind of steal their thunder, because they already have the lore very established with their characters. So, yeah, kick for me.
Eli?
So you kicked it because you don't like the game? You didn't kick the point? That's against the rules.
It's a good kick. Qualified kick. On to the next.
All right, I'm going to kick this.
Oh, my God.
For a different reason, but it's like, your point is that Marvel Rivals does better because they have more recognizable characters. The characters in Overwatch will never, ever be as recognizable as Marvel characters. That's just a blatant fact. On top of that, I feel like the marketing team for Overwatch is doing some other smart things. They're investing dollars in things like the Street Fighter crossover. Now I'm going to be able to play as Guile76. And like, those are cool things that are going to bring me to Overwatch, but I don't think watching a cinematic, unless it's on the scale of like Arcane League of Legends, which is like way too much of an investment, like it's not gonna bring enough people back. Like I think the people that care about Overwatch lore are people that played since the beginning, and like they're not the market that Overwatch needs to appeal to right now. They need to appeal to other people outside of the game.
I'm gonna let you have the last word at the end of this, so you're gonna get your time back. But this is a super kick for me. I hate everything about this. I think that tweet is stupid. I think the game is awful. I think Marvel Rivals sucks just as much. All these games have a gameplay problem, and I think that's why those games aren't being played, not because of cinematics. Feel free.
I don't think any of you actually kicked my points that I made. I think you all kicked that you don't like to play Overwatch, and that's fine. Eli's the one that came the closest, and I swear, Eli, I'm going to monitor your playtime because I know that you are not going to log on to a game you don't play, spend $20 for a Guile skin to play Overwatch 2. If you weren't playing Overwatch 2 a month ago, you're not going to do it now. Right, so like no
it's
one.
the first time I've thought about playing.
Like Overwatch has been making a lot of good moves, right? And this is a space where you want both sides to win. You want Marvel Rivals to win, and you want Overwatch to win. So how can these both do well? You're right. Like an Overwatch character is never going to be as recognizable as Spider-Man, but in this universe, that's what Blizzard's known for, right? The whole World of Warcraft universe, right? I would say World of Warcraft is pretty recognizable compared to Marvel stuff, right? Blizzard's known for telling stories, and they're known for building great storylines. So if they go back to what they became big for, which, by the way, here's Riot Games, who came from Blizzard. They stole a lot of that thunder. Now they're doing the good storytelling. Story brings people. Story sells dollars, right? Like it's everything there. People are going to invest in these characters because they say, oh, I want every skin for Soldier, right? Because I love Soldier. He's a 58-year-old man who's in the army or something like that.
I mean, I guess the last thing I'll say is like, I
get the last word. He said it. You're silent now.
All right, never mind.
It was his. He's gonna defend it.
Right,
it's okay. Let him have the last. It's fine. It's fine.
I've been super kicked 2 weeks in a row. I am not David. I need respect on this show.
Oh, that's good. No, I think it was great. I love that one. All right, Davis, go ahead. Give us yours. See what we do with this.
Yeah, so I'm going to Counter-Strike 2 with this one. I'm going to give a shout out to NIP, who's made their first T1 tournament in quite some time, and they've made quite the run to get there, starting out in an open qualifier and then jumping into a closed qualifier, jumping into the group stage, and they're now in the playoff. And I'm going to clutch this because NIP is an organization that I first remember watching when I first got into this space, and they were actually on their historic run that is now looked at as, it will never be touched, a 70-something game win streak. And I kind of got away from the space, and they fell off. And now that I'm back, I think it's really, really cool to see them, competing and back in the playoffs, at least at one of these tier 1 events. So clutch for me.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Eli.
Yeah, so I want to give this a kick, man. Like, yeah, it's cool. They're a historic org or team name, whatever you want to call it. But man, they look at their bracket. They beat Hotu, who is the 75th best team in the world. The only reason they're there is because Gamer Legion choked against them. On top of that, the other team they beat was G2, who's playing with their coach because Hunters has visa issues. So it's like, it doesn't feel like a deserved playoff spot. It's cool, but it feels like it's not going to be something that's replicatable. I hope they make the most out of it against Spirit. That's going to be a tall ask, but yeah, it's a kick for me.
Ninjas in Pajamas. Who's on that roster? Anybody know a player? Can anybody give me a player off that one? Oh, that's weird, because there are none, because they suck. And they're playing against Spirit in the playoffs, and they're going to lose. And it's going to be 2-0, and they might get lucky if they have 5 rounds total in the whole series. Sorry, I love the brand. Nip is cool, but these guys aren't going anywhere. It's dumb. Go ahead.
No, I mean, if you came here looking for me to celebrate a participation trophy, no way, dude. Like, yeah, it's cool. You're in the tournament that no one else is in, and you made the playoffs. Good job, buddy, right? Like, I mean, they beat G2, but to its point, they're playing with the coach, and then also they just lost Monacy for Hades. Hades is still unproven. Like, you didn't really beat anyone to get here, and now you drew the stick against Spirit. So, like, if you beat Spirit, maybe on Monday, I'll apologize to you. But until then, Nip hasn't done anything worthwhile.
If they even take a map off Spirit, I'll give them
That's a
props.
great job. That's a good.
Nip has
Another
done-
kick
Nip-
against Davis. Nice.
You heard it here. Nip hasn't done anything worthwhile. Nip is the longest Counter-Strike winning team, 70 games in a row. It's great to see them back in a Tier 1 final.
Oh, yeah. I
Great
also like to
playoff.
live back in the 1970s.
I admire your passion, just like Kepley and
I'm
his
just saying,
passion with Overwatch.
I literally turned them on as like a child, and I was like, yo, these guys are insane. And then off the face of the
Davis,
earth,
you're still a child.
it's off the face of the earth, and they're back.
Beautiful. All right, that's going to do it for our Clutch or Kick segment. Let us know in the comments below. Are you an Overwatch fan? Do you need to give Kepley some love? Go ahead, throw it down in the comments. Take a moment, subscribe for us. Yeah, give some credit to our man. You know, he needs some Overwatch love right here, okay? And then if you love Nip, go ahead, give Davis some love. Give him in the comments right there. Let him know that you support Nip, you support Overwatch.
Yeah, all 5 of you.
All 5 of you, that's right. There might not be one. Next is going to be our Pick'em segment. We're going to look at some of the matches upcoming for this weekend. First, we're going to stay right on brand with our Counter-Strike kind of genre that we were just discussing. We picked up a runner-up and we picked a winner of PGL Astana. So, would anybody like to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Kepley. Go ahead. Give it to us first.
So I did Spirit for winning. I kept the same as last week. And then my runner-up, I changed. I went Mongols.
Huh. Interesting. Davis, go ahead. Give us yours.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I actually had the same exact thing. I got Spirit going through, and I got Mongols coming in second.
Oh, that's weird.
Hey,
Eli.
that's crazy because I went totally left field on this, and I picked Spirit to win and Mongols to finish second.
Oh, crazy.
All right. I showed up. I looked at the math. We all had previously Eternal Fire, now Aurora. We watched them. They did terrible.
Yeah, they lost.
We looked at all the teams. We said, who can take down Spirit? Our runner-up for me, the Mongols.
Well, we're all going to look stupid if
We
we're
are.
wrong.
We are. Apparently, I said that I wasn't going to root for the Mongols, but I was looking at this bracket, and I couldn't figure out anybody that could beat Team Spirit other than the Mongols, if I look at it.
I mean, literally the only other option you have, in my opinion, based on what we've seen, is Na'Vi. Now, Aurora has really underperformed right here, so if Aurora plays to their potential against Mongols in that first matchup, I think we're going to maybe see a banger there, and Aurora could change my mind.
Yeah.
But Mongols, at this event, they've looked a little bit back in form. Now, again, I'm not going to say the same thing that I'm not going to discredit Nip. Nip's here playing against bad teams. Mongols is also here because they beat some bad teams, right? And so, but they did beat Na'Vi, which is their rival, and I think that that's most likely semifinals. Mongols versus Na'Vi, and that history, looking at that matchup in history, Na'Vi's won 5 times, Mongols has won 3, but the rounds are always very close. So either one of those teams, I struggled to pick between those two, and I just settled on Mongols because I like them more than Na'Vi.
I think I can absolutely see a world where Aurora completely bounced back. I mean, like we said, this team has very high heights and a high ceiling. We haven't seen it so far in Astana. They kind of stumbled, but I think that sometimes that's what you need. You need to get your ass kicked at the beginning of the tournament, and then you're kind of get your, you remember, hey, I need to try, and then maybe they'll bring some more energy to the next series. So I could see them bouncing back too.
Davis, no Nip.
No Nip, no. I don't think they really have much of a chance. I think that it's cool that they made it. I don't think they have much of a chance to advance much. The team that I do think that's kind of an underdog, though, for me is Furia. I think they're playing really, really well, and their addition of Yekender, his team.
Serato is sick though.
Yeah, if you look at the addition of Yekender, he has absolutely changed this team, and they are playing way better than they were. And I mean, they're taking maps off good teams. So Fury is a team that can take a few maps off.
You gonna doubt my boy Fallen? What is this?
Dude, I'm just thinking about how good Spirit have it. I mean, they have the freest bracket run to finals of all time. MIBR, Furia, Nip. It's just you're just shooting the bottom of the barrel at this point. You're just waiting for Mongols or Na'Vi to wash up on your shore. I mean, this is the same thing I said last week. Spirit have to win this tournament. It's gifted to them at this point. If they drop the ball here to any of these teams, I mean, I'm not having high hopes for them when we go into the major.
Dude,
I agree,
I love Fallen. I will root for Fallen any day of the week, so I like the Fury as kind of a dark horse pick. I think that's awesome.
I mean, they took Mongols to map 3, so.
Yeah.
Furia also has Serato, who is frequently in the top 10 rated players in the world. So he's an underrated player that people don't talk about enough.
Well,
They're playing really good.
and I also will agree with Kepley in the fact that, I think Spirit need this win.
Yeah.
They are not looking like a top 4 team. If you were to put them in your top 4 right now, right behind the Falcons, Mouse, and Vitality, it's like they don't look like the top 4 team, right? And so in some ways, they need this win in order to be able to propel them forward for the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hated on Nick last time we talked on it for picking Gamers Legion, like Donk didn't show up in that series. Magix, of all people, carried that series for Gamers Legion, so it looked like really close, but even though the score line was close, I just refer to that matchup as Donk's holiday off, right? He just got to take a vacation first day of the tournament, and they still came through. So with Donk, the way he's been playing, he's performed better and better as this went on. I see nothing but dark times for Furia, MIBR, or whoever gets in front of them.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, if Spirit, like I said, if Spirit doesn't win this, I think that they go down in my book to probably a 7 or a 6 seed overall, so
yeah.
8. I don't know.
Mongols would overtake them, I guess. They're pretty close. I just did my power rankings. Look out for that episode.
There you go.
That's what's crazy is Astana, they're number 5. Mongols, I think, is 6, and Navi 7. So it's like, those are such close teams. I think you start. I said Astana, didn't I? Aurora goes down.
Yeah.
Aurora goes down. And you start to see that play out. Astralis didn't look bad this event.
They didn't. No.
So
we'll see if they're able to be. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to the next game. A little bit of a different vibe for us. Valorant's. I don't know if they're in a weird space, but they've had so many tech pauses that they've had a little bit of a delayed on when their playoffs are happening for them. So they've had to bounce some stuff back. But we do have some EMEA playoffs going on. We've got Team Heretics versus Fanatics, and then we've got Team Liquid versus BBL Esports for our matchups within the EMEA. Davis, you want to hit us first with your picks?
Yeah, for my picks, I got Heretics advancing in the first matchup, and I also have Liquid winning the second.
Okay, go ahead, Kep.
I think I picked Fnatic and Liquid just because I know those teams, but I don't know much about EMEA Valorant. So
I've got Heretics and Liquid. Go ahead, Eli.
I got Heretics and BBL.
Ooh, you want to do the BBL defend first, and then we'll go to the Heretics one?
Yeah, so I think BBL, they're just playing well. They took a map off of Heretics in the winter side, and I think Heretics is by far the best team. They finished second at Worlds last year, so it's like, I don't know, BBL are playing better than they ever have. I think that Liquid is very good, and it's going to be a tough one, but I think it's going to go the distance, and BBL will clutch it out.
If I'm honest, I looked at the same thing, and the only reason I picked Team Liquid is because they won the heads up. When
they do have a winning record against BBL, but I mean, you could say the same for anything.
I would also say Valorant's also one of our games that has a huge swing where, like, I feel like almost any team can show up on any map and win.
Yeah,
but look at EG, and from North America, they had a horrible season. Playoffs, they did so well.
Yeah, took a map off G2 as well. Like,
any additional arguments for good old Team Liquid?
I'm in the same boat as you. I think BBL is actually probably playing better than Liquid as a team right now. Like you said, played really well against Heretics, probably the best team in the league. But for me, I just think when the moment comes to it and it's like do or die, you get eliminated, I just think Liquid's going to have that advantage and the mindset of already winning the matchup. So I think they're just going to advance.
Can you throw the graphic back up for us real quick so we can look at the Heretics and Fnatic? Who picked Fnatic?
I picked Fnatic, but I don't have any good reason for it.
Heck yeah.
I picked because I know Fnatic, and I was like, I don't know who these people, I don't know these teams. I haven't watched much European Valorant weakness on my end, but I just know Fnatic. I know as an organization, they pride themselves in winning, so I chose to believe in them in blind faith.
You would not believe the only reason that I picked Heretics is because they won the heads-up matchup when they played the Jets last day.
I mean, I will say Fnatic is a very good team, but there's a reason that, like, Heretics look leagues ahead, in my opinion. Heretics, like I said, second in Worlds last year. They got third in the kickoff event, so they actually didn't get to play in Masters Bangkok. And I think they're the type of team that, like, took that personally and went back to the drawing board. And now they look more organized and, like, coherent. Like, they have game plans for every map, every situation. They've got multiple, like, their playbook is very deep. Doesn't matter what champions they pick, they have unique plays for each situation. And it's like, it's honestly just beautiful to watch their team. It's like seamless. They're smoking each other's lanes, hitting routes at perfect timing. Benji Fishy is a god, doesn't miss. And then you got the brothers Boo and Mini Boo from Lithuania that, like, it's so cool just to see brothers on stage. I feel like you have an extra layer of synergy, and that's what this Heretics roster is bringing us right now.
If I wish I would have talked to you in advance, I would have picked Heretics based on that.
Heretics looks really strong. And to come off what he said, I mean, they lost in the kickoff and they've been undefeated in the group stage since. So, I mean, clearly they can't get bested.
Yeah, we'll see who they play against when we get to the playoffs, too, as we look at Toronto. So it'll be interesting to see as those kind of different regions line up against each other. Is like, are we going to see a rematch of G2 and T1 coming out, and all these other pieces? So that's the most exciting piece. We're just getting to the good stuff, okay? The Super Bowl's coming, okay? I see you over there. Okay, let's talk some Call of Duty next. We've got 4 matches for Call of Duty this week. Thank our production team. They went the extra mile to be able to add these guys onto the graphics. So I will go first, but I'll outline the matches really quickly. We've got Carolina Royal Ravens versus Minnesota. Then we've got Ultra versus Surge, Ultra versus Optic, and C9 versus LAT. We're looking a lot at our bottom, I'd say 10, 11, 10, 9, and 8 teams to see who's going to make it into champs and what the seedings are going to look like. Who did I pick? I had Minnesota on the first matchup, Ultra, and LA Thieves. Eli, you want to hit us next?
That's crazy because I also had Minnesota, Ultra, LA Thieves, which we didn't even talk about.
That's
this.
right.
But,
there you go.
That's crazy because I had Minnesota Ultra Optic LA.
Of course.
Oh my God.
I know you're excited about Mercules.
I am.
Okay, go ahead, Davis.
And then I went Minnesota, Ultra, Cloud9.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm being ambitious, but brother, you're ambitious. Okay.
Okay, let's talk the Optic matchup against Ultra, because Ultra's a top 3 team.
Top team.
Those guys look good. Like, I'm not betting against Mr. Kleenex. You know what I'm saying?
I'll bet against him. Mercules was there at the major. He's got the playbook in his hands. He already knew the playbook. He was working with Joe Deceives. He was filling Beans' role. Mercules is going to come with stuff to prove. That kid is going to slay out, and they've only had time to get more cohesive. I'm looking for good stuff from Optic. They upset. Everyone's saying they can't beat Ultra. Don't forget what they did with Skies to Seattle Surge. They can beat Toronto Ultra. It is possible. It's not far-fetched.
That green wall is just, your blood is just full of it. And I love that. I love that for you. I do think they have to win this. If there was ever a chance for them to try and get to champs and be a winning team, be a top #1 team, run it back for the year, they have to win this match this weekend. Yeah. For sure.
To get back on top for sure. I would say the other side of this argument, though, is Beans wants to prove the doubters wrong and prove that he's better on this team than Mercules. You know how many people were saying, oh, Toronto's got something to think about now? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Don't sleep on Beans. Like, yeah, Mercules is amazing. I'll give him that. But, like, I think because Beans didn't attend the major, people forgot how good this guy is and how well he slots into this roster. I think that they're just going to be too much for Optic right now.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I don't doubt Beans. I love Toronto Ultra, but Optic, I mean, it's just that green wall, man. We got some hopium that we can huff right now.
There's a lot to huff right now.
Yeah. And I think that, to your point to kick off the show, I think that Mercules is the answer to at least get them in the conversation as a top team. I don't know that they'll win. FaZe and LA Thieves look so good.
Yeah.
But I think they're at least now, like, you're no longer laughing at them at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah. It's also interesting for our first pick, everybody picked Minnesota over Carolina Royal Ravens.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Well, I think really that one can go any way. The way I see it is if it goes to Game 5, I think the Royal Ravens win because I think they're tremendously better at search.
And Minnesota haven't won a Game 5 yet.
Yeah.
So
I'm exactly with him. I picked Rocker because I'm like, you're 10% away from winning an extra 6 games or whatever it is, right? That you keep going to Game 5, round 11. Like, you're so close to being there. Royal Ravens just haven't shown me that.
Yeah.
And the Ravens just haven't looked strong in control either. So I do think the Riker will have enough to win that Game 3, and that'll be enough to win the hard point in 4, and they'll win the series. Yeah. But if it goes Game 5, I think Royal Ravens, no question.
I think the reality is, too, we're literally recording this in North Carolina, in Charlotte, and they have just let us down over and over again. And we're just like, man, we're tired of believing in you guys. Like, give us a reason to believe. Until then, we're going to stick with Rocker.
Hey, okay, well, the other one of these we got to look at, Davis. Cloud9 over LAT.
Good luck.
Yo, the odds on that are like 10 to 1.
I just want to say, this is strictly a vibes pick, and it's strictly because Cloud9 beat FaZe last week, so I could see it easily happening.
Dude, they have 2 new players. They got a new roster.
Yeah.
They got to shine a new car.
Beat FaZe last week. That's my team #1. I think FaZe has been #1 for me the rest of the year. I think they've obviously had some slumps, but they're always the team that I look at as just like the staple team. Beat them, so I think they could do it.
Dude, the more I think about that, the more I like that pick, actually. I'm not changing. I mean, I'm taking LA Thieves every day, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, I think it's fated to root against LA Thieves, to be honest. Like, they're just that team is incredible. Like, I think that this is the team that's like kind of upset with the way they performed on LAN so far this year, and like I think they might be coming a little bit different right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably easily one of the teams you would argue. Like, if you had to put down $1 million on a team to win champs, you're probably thinking them or FaZe. You're definitely not thinking about Cloud9.
I mean, to Davis's point, though, Capsule and Spart, like, talk about two dudes that have been in challengers for a while that's got something to prove. You know, they're getting their shot. And like, I mean, they're getting a bad shot, but they're getting a shot.
They're playing against people that have already proved it. So, I mean, there's two different sides to that.
I wanted to circle back one more thing about the Optic thing that I didn't get to comment on.
Yeah.
I think Ultra is just a little bit too objective for Optic. I think we really saw that last week against the Breach for Optic. I mean, they outslayed the crap out of them. It was just like not even close on KD or pressure-wise on the map. But Breach is just a very objective team. Toronto is a very objective team, and I think that'll just get the best of Optic.
I think it's fair. I'm still green wall, baby.
Green Wall. That's right. Here you go. All right, this guy. He's crazy. All right, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll see the matches this weekend. We'll be back on Monday. We'll do the recap. We'll let you know what's going on. But right now, we got to talk about League of Legends, okay? LTA North, we've been watching C9. We've been watching FlyQuest. I got to know who picked FlyQuest and who picked C9 for our first match. The second one is 100 Thieves versus TL. I'm going to go first. I picked FlyQuest and TL. Let's go, baby. Eli, you next.
I picked C9 and TL.
This guy doesn't know.
Okay.
Kepley.
I picked FlyQuest and TL because it was actually Liquid versus Shopify.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Davis.
FlyQuest TL.
Oh my gosh. Somebody is. So I like this pick. I think these two teams are so close for you, Eli, but I'd love to hear why you picked them over FlyQuest.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a little biased because I love Cloud9 in general, but like Blabber and Loki have been just playing really well recently. I think that Blabber, if he's allowed the champions that he's comfortable on, like when he's allowed to play Nefiri, he takes over the game. Loki's been so crucial on all the control mages. Like, I don't know. I feel like their teamwork is peaking right now. Like they had some stumbles earlier in the split, but now it feels like they're playing better than they have recently, and we're starting to see like the true potential of this roster.
Yeah, I love it. To me, this is just the preview now for the playoff semifinals, probably, because the winner of this just sets the stage for your playoff bracket, right? So winner's going to go to the top half, blue's going to go to the bottom. This is going to be a banger matchup. It could easily go.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Dude, I just think the reason I picked FlyQuest over C9 was Whippo and Whippo alone. The top lane, the crazy picks, the off-the-wall stuff that's been going on up there. I know Thanatos has looked so good in the top lane, but I just take Whippo 10 out of 10 times. I don't know why.
I do too.
Yeah, and that was the decision maker for me.
Yeah, when Whippo throws curveballs, like picking Yorick top lane that like no one's known how to play against, and then I think Yorick was just recently nerfed, so it probably won't be another pick. But he just like, you never know what he's going to pick. It could be something totally different and just completely change the game plan for Cloud9. I think that's a good thing to have, especially in Fearless Draft, where it's like you're forced to pick a lot of different champions, and you can get a little creative with it.
I agree. Yorick was nerfed in the jungle, by the way. He's still
fine.
Yeah.
Top. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Can't keep up with all the.
You're good. But yeah, the Nidalee picks, the Aatroxes, anything. I mean, Blippo is he can do it all. And so it's hard to plan around that. So a lot of times what teams will do is just say, okay, well, we just have to figure out how to neutralize Blippo, but we're going to target the weaker points of his team that don't have as diverse of a champ pool, right? So it's just, I don't want to go in circles, but it's going to be a banger, right? I'm not unhappy with either pick here.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool.
Fair enough.
And then we all have TL. They just did better.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify is their opponent. Shopify, I think we all think is a bottom 4 team. The only reason they're in this position is because I think 100 Thieves choked against them. So they took 100 Thieves spot, which in my opinion, it should be 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid here. I think that Liquid's going to have an easy win here over Shopify.
Yeah, I always try to do the spicy picks for League. So I was trying to find a reason to pick Shopify Rebellion.
Couldn't find it.
The problem is the last 7 times these teams have met, Shopify's never taken a game off of them, even in the series. So it's just, hopefully this is an exciting matchup, but this should be, right, this should be good for Liquid. I rarely want to say good things about Liquid on this show because I don't like that team. But this is a moment where if you lose, just know Monday I will fry you even harder. So
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. We're going to do our last segment of the day. We've got some cool news in around the league going on. I think the first one right now is Starladder introduced a major in Budapest. Hey, and what's cool about this one is the fact that all of the stages of this event are going to have a live crowd. So we've got a lot of studio events that happen for Counter-Strike, and this one's going to have a live crowd for all of it. It's going to start with a smaller crowd of about 2,000, and then we're going to get to our normal convention center. It's got 15 to 20K people. I I think this is a game changer. I think this is cool. What do you think, Eli?
Yeah, I mean, anytime the fans can be heard in the broadcast, for me as a viewer, it's like more hype to watch. Like the studio games are kind of boring. Like the only yelling you hear is the teams trying to yell loud enough so the other team can hear it on the other side of the studio. But it's like, I want to hear the whole crowd losing it. And 20,000 is a lot of people. So I haven't seen the exact space, but from what I read, it sounds like a pretty cool venue.
Yeah, love a good major.
Yeah, I think it's always weird, like in Counter-Strike's so big that I kind of, as I've learned the scene more, it's weird to say like, oh, this is a good arena team or this is a good live team.
Yeah.
And so just to be able to have that kind of live atmosphere the whole time, you're going to start to see teams like Mentals. So like someone like Spirit, where I feel like the crowd, they start to go against them. Spirit really breaks down. I think that's why Spirit thrives a bit more in these arena style plays with no fans around. But then they go against Vitality and you have someone like Apex just mentally breaks him because he's doing exactly what he said. He's yelling. That's the only voice you can hear is this guy mocking you because he just beat you. You're getting owned by a captain, right? And you're Donk, the head shooter. So, I don't know. Good stuff all around.
There are some teams that get a buff from this and some that get nerfed for sure.
One thing that I really like about this is the fact that, a lot of tournaments, a lot of these lower level teams that could have hidden gem players on them, they don't get the experience of going in front of a big crowd and playing in front of that and feeling that atmosphere. So I think it's really good for teams like that and players that might not have all the experience as other people to get, their feet dirty in some early matches and just feel what it's like to really have a crowd behind you or maybe even against you.
Yeah. Teams like Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yep.
They're not going to be in the finals.
Maybe they get a buff. We'll see. Cool. The other thing going on right now in the news, which is very exciting, I've been watching the Annihilator Cup. And I want to say, before we introduce the Street Fighter portion of this, I do want to talk about the games and why Street Fighter gets picked over other games. But I was watching the double lift kind of him organizing his League of Legends team when they were playing against Tyler1 and Ludwig. And it seemed like Doublelift was trying to micromanage the team so much that he didn't play the game, trying to be the TL for them. And it was so surprising to see that Doublelift team did not do very well on the League of Legends stage. But I was curious if you guys kind of saw the same thing and if you'd watched them or what your thoughts were.
So from my understanding, Doublelift still got a ton of points because it is based on kills, and he just killed everyone. I think he played Jinx and got a ton of kills. I think it's a really cool format to force these big stars to play a bunch of different games, see who's the most well-rounded team of gamers. But in my eyes, I feel like Doublelift won this tournament in the draft phase because he's the best League player. He's the best Street Fighter player, and all he had to do was draft some good FPS players to carry him in Counter-Strike and COD, and he got Scump and Summit 1G and Landmark, and then Lovely Low, their fifth, she plays all these games as well. So I think that as a captain, Doublelift just owned everybody, and there's no chance he loses.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot of kills for sure to be able to carry.
If you go back and watch last week, I mean, I don't want to say I called it, but I said Ludwig's team with Tyler1 could beat
They
him,
did.
right?
They did.
Just because, you're exactly right. Doublelift's going to have that really esports-centric mindset to it. Someone like Ludwig, who, he's not challenger, but he's plat, making his way to diamond in jungle. Tyler1, who's a challenger in all roles, they're just going to know, they're going to have more fun and a little bit more cohesion. So even though they may have lost out on the points, I mean, just the fact that they showed that, hey, solo queue ladder, you can beat a Smurf, right? You can beat Doublelift. You just got to work together.
I actually didn't see, did Doublelift actually make more points even though they lost? Because of the kills?
They have the leaderboard here. Yeah. You got the most points.
It's
and Scump on
But I think Doublelift is smart enough to know that. That's why he played the way he did. He set the team up to feed him kills. He's just make sure I get fed as hell, and I'll just kill everyone, and we'll still get more points anyways.
And he picked the right chance.
Well, and that's a great point because there is an individual leaderboard here for kills, so it's how much of that conversation is hey, yo, just set me up for it. And then if I'm Scump, I'm maybe I take some kills. Maybe I pick a champion that's got a little bit more, hey, how can I get some more Elins on it?
By the way, I will say that watching Scump play Fiddle in the jungle just felt so cursed. I don't know why.
So right.
Just hearing Scump's voice with League on the screen, my brain couldn't comprehend it. But that's kind of what this kind of tournament brings. It's
Fiddle main felt right. But I mean, even when he was practicing, he was playing Zac in the jungle, and I'm Scump looks good.
Dude, I saw a clip of him on Zac. It was actually insane.
Yeah, he went 20-0 in a game on Zac, and I'm Scump, what can't you do?
That's amazing.
It is, and ultimately we are going into. I would say maybe for me, maybe not you guys, but Street Fighter is a little bit of an odd game for this. In some ways I wish it was a team game, but it is an individual game. They're going to go into 4 groups of 5. and then they're going to play a round robin, and then they're going to take the top 16 teams, and they're going to go through a bracket. So you could end up playing against somebody that's actually on your team and taking them down. So there's some cool variants here. I also haven't played Street Fighter in forever, so I don't even know.
It's the most popular fighting game in the world right now, and I think that's why they picked it. They're like, we need a fighting game in the category, so let's just pick the biggest one. Yeah. Street Fighter is definitely a lot different than when we played it on Super Nintendo, because that's when I played it last. But it's a fun game. Doublelift is like plays it competitively as well, though.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. So like he's just going to destroy everyone.
Well, yeah, and this is one of those times where like, you know, I don't want to go on like too much of a side road, but like it really sucks that Nintendo doesn't back Smash as much.
Sure.
Because like this is a great moment where Smash could be picked, but no one's gonna want to put up with Nintendo and like them not supporting it. So it just really stinks to that. But yeah, Street Fighter, big game. Love to see it.
Yeah. I like the format. I think it's cool. I think it'll be interesting to see who's on top. The matches are tonight. It's Thursday. So if you're watching this, feel free to just tune in, turn it over, go watch it. But it'll be fun to see who kind of comes out on top. I hope it's maybe an underdog or somebody we just didn't know that's been grinding.
Tyler won, man.
Because they've got to be practicing, right? Because like
they've been doing internal tournaments and stuff on their streams. Like everyone's going against each other practicing. It's like kind of crazy how much prep they're putting into this stuff.
Yeah, I would too. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. One last segment for us today. We're gonna look at the one and only. I'm coming to you first, Kepley. Faker has the most assists in the LCK. He's done it.
Yeah,
He's done it all. He's amazing. He's so good. What do you think about this, Kep?
I think we're just celebrating things to celebrate things. Like, I think that this means nothing. Like, yeah, it's cool. You got 5,500 assists. You're the top in the league or whatever. But also, like, the LCK account is tweeting out all the time. Like, that was 4 days ago. Yesterday, they tweet out, Showmaker got 3,500 assists. And it's like, okay, what milestones are we celebrating? Like, every 100, every 500, whatever. Like, it just seems pointless. Do a notable milestone. 5,500 seems so weird to me. Also, like, if you are going to celebrate these big achievements, let's talk about Lehens, who is on, it's a subset of that tweet, but Faker did 5,500 5 days ago. Lehen was sitting at 5,354, okay? As of the tweet yesterday, when they celebrated Showmaker, Lehan's has went up 50 assists almost. He's at 5,401, and Faker's went up like 4 assists. And it's like, celebrate this guy who's like climbing this leaderboard. He's going to pass him in like a week, it feels like.
It seems like a weird stat, Eli.
It is a weird stat, like the total, because all it really is a measure of is like how long you've been playing, which, you know, that's cool that like these players have played a long time. You know who has played for 6 years less than Faker and is in 3rd or 4th on that tweet? It's Keria, his support player. I did the math on this. Faker has accumulated around 458 assists per year. Keria has 913 assists per year, so double his amount. Granted, they're different roles. You know, Faker's a mid laner and Keria's literally a support player, so he's supposed to get assists. But it's like I kind of agree with Kevin. It's a weird stat to celebrate. It's just another reason to talk about Faker, and we love Faker, so it is what it is.
Sorry. My last point is I just feel like this is like now we're entering real sports territory where like you will just hear these announcers say the most obscure stats that no one even cares about, no one's thinking about. So like even the Showmaker point, their tweet there is like, he's the 16th person ever to get 3,500 assists. It's like, who cares? like, either you're the first one there or it doesn't matter, right? Either you're first or you're last.
Yeah. I'm in the same way. I think it's kind of a cherry pick stat. Like, it's obviously cool, and he's like he has the most assists, so it's cool that he keeps pushing the boundary. But kind of like Eli said, I think it's one of those things that kind of happens in normal sports. Like, he just keeps playing, so he keeps getting more assists, and we don't need to comment to every single one.
Well, it's not really a fair stat either, too, because there could be an amazing support that gets no kills. And that person will never be on the top of the kill and death ratio. But maybe they're an amazing support, right? So like, how do you quantify that? It's not really fair when you compare apples to apples. You know, if I don't know, a blocker blocks for the quarterback every time, it's like you only count the time he missed, right? So
like that's the only time you care about the offensive lineman in the NFL is when they didn't block for the quarterback. You know,
exactly. But Faker is still pretty good at League of Legends, if I'm honest. So
he's all right, I guess. Just a back-to-back world champion.
Yeah, is what it is.
No, we love Faker.
We do. Cool. Well, that's going to do it for Queued Up. We've had a lot of fun segments today. Hey, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and join us on Monday's episode. We'll be covering all of the matches that we just talked about, and you'll know if we're right or wrong, if we're just full crap. So go ahead, watch Monday's episode. It's right there. Go to the next one. We'll see you later.
Congrats on double super kick, buddy.
Hey, I think it's cool.